Interested in basketball? Wonder what it takes to become a professional basketball player? Well, serving up at the breakfast buffet, we have Eric Carter, a UDEL graduate who became an MVP basketball player. Learn about his hard work, passion, and sacrifices that got him to compete to the next level. I hope you guys will enjoy.
With Eric Carter, you know, the best basketball player I know personally. That's coming from a wrestler, so I mean, but Eric, how you doing, my man?
I'm chilling, bro. Chilling. How about you?
I'm making the most out of this situation.
Crazy.
Not much we could do, but hear great stories from people and athletes like yourself.
Yeah, most definitely.
So you're back in Jersey, huh?
Yeah. I'm back. It was a pretty crazy few weeks, I guess you would say, for us. And then I was able to get back home and get settled, and now I'm just, chilling, working out, trying to stay active, healthy, same old.
Yeah. You have a basketball hoop at home, huh? So you have one at home?
Yeah. I've been kind of just taking time off from basketball after the season. I usually wind down for a little, so it's actually nice being away. And then, when this stuff opens back up, I'll get back with my trainers and get on a regimen, specifically towards next season.
Uh-huh. So was the season over with when all this stuff went down, or what happened on your end?
It's actually
get back here to the States.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. So we had a break about mid-February, so I was able to come home for a week, which was nice, and see my mom and my friends and stuff. And it was actually my best friend's birthday, Jeff. You know Jeff, so we're gonna go out and have some
Actually,
fun.
let's rewind a little bit. You were in Hungary, right? You're in
the
country of yeah. So everyone knows and gets a glimpse. You went to another country to continue and make a sacrifice to, up your game for professional basketball, right?
Yeah, most definitely. It was hands down probably the hardest thing I've ever had to do in my life. Just being so comfortable at home and the setting and environment that I'm in, it was hard at first, but, midway I got, admitted to it and open.
So, right out of college, right? You went to University of Delaware. You were the alumni MVP, all around MVP, all conference, all of that. What were your steps after that for people that don't know what kind of steps you could take after it?
Yeah.
Because you were drafted, right?
No, I had so right after, if you think you have a shot or something, you sign with an agent. So during the season, I was speaking to a bunch of different agencies, and after the season, the day or two after, I talked to my coach, and then I went and I was up in the city for a few days meeting with different agencies, and just decided it was best for me to sign with a guy named Andy B. He's from Clutch Sports, so the power that they have and the people that they have, it shows that they get things done. Then it was really just working out, trying to enjoy, those last few weeks of school. I was in Cleveland for a little bit. I was down in Miami working out and everything, and just enjoying my last few weeks with my friends. And then I had a few workouts with the Nets and the Sixers before the draft, and then after I had, we were in talks for G League with the Nets, but I just knew that I wanted to make more money, and my best option was overseas, so I went that route.
Uh-huh. And you ended up signing with a team in Hungary. What was the name of that team?
Yeah, it was Sopron. They were a pretty good team. We started out slow, but we got a new coach and we were able to turn it around and had a lot of buzz, and we're playing our best basketball. It sucks, the way that it ended, because as a competitor, you want to win and see somebody win a championship, but obviously health comes first.
Yeah. So your season was actually cut short because of the COVID-19?
Yeah, so basically, the second stage of the season, we were playing Wednesday, Saturdays, and we played a game, and then they said Wednesday was going to be without fans, so we played that one, which was just weird. I mean, it was almost like a scrimmage or something. And then Saturday got canceled. They decided on my agent called me over the weekend and just said, be ready to leave because this is getting serious. And they canceled, and I was on the next flight out of there.
So you kind of got lucky, huh? You beat I mean you beat it before. Yeah.
My bad. Yeah, it was crazy. So one of my teammates actually, he was from Lithuania, and he was an import like us, and he's actually still there because Lithuania closed their borders. So I was getting nervous, but I knew, my agent told me just sit tight and he'll take care of everything. And when it's something like that that's out of your control, you really can't do much. So we got it done, and I was able to get out of there.
Yeah, that's good. Health came first, and of course, getting you back to America is good too.
Yeah.
What was the biggest difference between playing in America and playing over there?
Honestly, I think physicality and just the way European basketball is. There's nothing really like it. Like NBA is obviously the greatest and most talented in the world, but just from a standpoint of fans and excitement at games and the way the crowd really controls the game is something everybody should be able to see. It's definitely worth watching.
And how was your training, your nutrition, and even your recovery out there?
Yeah,
'cause you're not in America. You're not in your element.
No, it's a completely different world, honestly. Practice, I would say, is very similar. A lot of 5-on-5, but you go from being in college where you have class and everything to a point where my job is to play basketball. So the training and nutrition comes in. We were going twice a day for the most part, lifting or shooting in the morning, and at night we would get after it on the court of practice and competing. So it's just different. My nutrition wise, I'm always watching what I eat because when I was little I was fat, as you know. So I try to take care of my body as much as possible, get extra stretching sessions in and massages when I can. So that was pretty okay.
Yeah, we don't got our Thrive over there. We don't got
Exactly.
we don't got it over there.
They take care of me when I'm home and they're great, while I'm home training. They help me get my recovery and treatments, anything I need over there at Thrive.
Yeah, they're the best. I'm hoping to get Joe on soon. Talk about chiropractic and cryotherapy and all that good stuff.
He said I need some treatment, and he said, once they open back up, I'll get right back in there.
Yeah, for sure. So, going into college, what was the big transition from high school into college basketball?
Yeah, for me, I think it was just speed of the game, and you go from being at a stance of where you're the top dog and everybody's chasing you to now the man on in high school to trying to find a role and prove that you're worth the coach is taking a risk on and putting in games to help them win.
Was there a change in work ethic that you needed to do?
Honestly, no, and I credit that to my high school coach, Coach Fagan. He really instilled a way for me to work and to learn. And there was always competition in high school because when I was a freshman, sophomore, I thought that I was going in to play right away, and I was behind a few good players that went on to play Division I, too. So I really learned what it took to work hard and develop, and I brought that with me to college, and it showed.
Yeah. So for anyone getting recruited in high school, how do you know what school you want and then what college is the right fit for you?
Yeah, I actually had a talk with a kid the other day. Everybody has goals and aspirations to play Division I, but in my eyes, it doesn't really matter where you play. I think that you have to go what's best for you. You have to look at a school, with opportunity, after basketball or after sports and what you can take from school. I think that a good way to look at it is for the next 4 to 5 years, you have to use school, use the outlets that the school provides, use the alumni network, not take advantage in a sense of you're using people, but these next 4 to 5 years determine the next 40 years of your life. So you have to take it as an approach that, yes, your athletics are going to take a major step and a role in where you go, but also what other influences are factoring. You know what I mean? I think that Delaware put me in the best position to be successful basketball-wise, along with, academically and my future. And I was really happy with the decision I made. I have no regrets. My first few years with an injury and stuff were tough, but I ended up, playing the best basketball of my life my junior and senior year. And
You end up studying with? You finished with a degree there, right?
yeah, I finished with a degree. I got a degree in criminal justice and a minor in business. So after basketball, I plan on going to law school.
Yeah, yeah. So that's important for any athlete, especially people inspiring to be a professional athlete. You always have to have that fallback plan, whether you do make it, or not, you need that, or even when you retire, right? That's something you could always fall back on. Do you have other, of course, the goal is the NBA and everything. Do you have a goal that you see after that?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I want to go to law school. I want to get into the agency side of sports. I want to get into the management side of sports. I think that that's awesome. Or, be a high level lawyer helping people. I love that side of things. I love, when I'm not on the court for myself, helping people and helping others get better and being around talent. So I feel like that fits my mold.
Yeah, maybe work be one of the lawyers on the CBAs and stuff. One of
Exactly.
my professors was at NYU was Charlie Grantham. I don't know if you know who he was.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, yeah, he was the man, dude. He was great. He used to help out with Michael Jordan, his case to allow him to wear his Nikes on the court, and he was awesome, man.
Cool. There's so many cool sides of sports, and different things that people can get involved with, from marketing to management to doing deals and contract negotiations. I think that there's another world that I want to explore in life, and I think I'd be good at it.
Yeah, the biggest lesson he did was he gave me a sport I had no interest in at all. It was soccer, right? I'm not gonna lie, soccer. And he goes, I gave you this because you learn more with something you're not interested in. Because if you can't see yourself playing, then you can see yourself making it a business.
Exactly.
And that's something that always stuck out with me. And it's just really interesting that you see that side of the business of basketball, even though you're still in it and you're still playing.
Yeah.
You think that gives you an advantage when you're like negotiating or finding where to play
Yeah,
now?
I think 100%. I mean, I've seen all sides of sports and athletics in the basketball world. I feel like, from, the good and the bad, the sneaky side and the positive side. And I think, there is a middle and a right and a wrong. And I just want to be on the side that helps kids and helps people, create futures and success for them.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. And it builds your brand and your marketability when you know what you're talking about, and you could basically defend for yourself in those situations. And that's very interesting. All right, so what kind of advice would you give high school players, whether they're younger or later in their high school career, trying to get recruited and scouted?
I think it all depends the sport. I don't really know how wrestling goes, but for basketball, it's very similar to football. You gotta find ways to get yourself seen. Basketball, it's big with the summertime. You got to play in AAU. You got to play in these tournaments where college coaches are going and seeking guys. And I think another thing is that people have to be realistic. By sophomore, junior year of high school, you probably know where you stand among, where you're going to play, unless you have a huge growth spurt in those last 2 years where you're going from 6 foot to 6'9". So I think the biggest thing is to just be realistic and know your goals. And obviously you shoot for the moon and the stars and everything, but you got to be realistic. So just continue to train and take advantage of the opportunities and the people around you that can help you get better. I love, being home and helping younger kids. I think that's something that I had watching some of the guys, the better basketball players around here. When I was younger, I was always in the gym with them. So, I think that's something you got to take tools from older guys that can help you get better. And especially in the off season and downtime, like right now, the quarantine, you got to make best of the situation. I'm out on the track every day running, I'm doing sprint workouts and there's been young guys around, Jason and Justin, who go to Notre Dame, who are like my little brothers. They play football. They're out there with me every day. So, just continuing to work when nobody else is working. I think that, my saying is hard work pays off and hard work beats talent when talent fails to work hard. So things like of that nature.
Yeah, for sure. Even with me wrestling, I wasn't the most technical, but I was the most physical. I knew when I was stepping
Yeah,
on that mat, that's it. They know they were wrestling me. They were getting that
exactly.
fight.
Exactly. And I think part of it also comes down to who you surround yourself with. In high school you were around me, you were around JoJo. I remember, holidays, to help JoJo, I would go and run with him after we ate dinner. It'd be 30 degrees out, but he'd have to cut 6 pounds for the next day. And you got to help your brother succeed. I think that's important.
Oh yeah, for sure. And you said a lot of role models, like it's a good example how you said the older kids are in your area. A lot of people talk about role models being like professional athletes and stuff, but for me, my role models were the guys in my town. Seeing
Yeah.
seeing these guys state champs become these great wrestlers in my own town, those were my role models. And the fact that you said the same, I think that's very important.
Yeah.
Because you could legit put yourself in their shoes.
Yeah. 100%. I mean, growing up, we from our area, obviously J.R. Smith's the huge one, and I was fortunate enough to be in the gym sometimes with him, and right after they won the championship in Cleveland, and he was home in the off season, just seeing, my thing is if these guys can wake up at 6 a.m., if LeBron can work out, at 6 a.m. and everything, why can't I? Why is this guy the best in the world and he still trains like, he has something to prove? So I think, it's something that you have to instill in yourself too and hold yourself accountable.
Yeah, for sure. Studying the best. If you want to be the best, study the best.
Exactly.
Yeah, another question I have is with AAU and high school basketball. Clearly they have different coaches, right? You had a different high school coach compared to
Yeah.
your AAU coach, right?
Yeah. It's crazy.
Is there any confrontation or any battle between those two? Do they talk
Yeah.
like?
Yeah. No, I mean, hopefully a lot of times, they work together and stuff. My coach and my AAU coach had a pretty good understanding because my high school coach is very well known from the college ranks.
Mhm.
But a lot of times it can get ugly, and I think that the NCAA, this is the NCAA's fault. I think a lot of people know I'm not very fond of the NCAA, so I speak out against them most of the time. But I think that they created this culture of making AAU and high school a rival. Because it's such a stupid thing that a high school coach can't coach their players in the off season. Why would you not want them to invest time in their players and help them reach their full potential? But then that creates this controversy of you know high school coaches and college coaches, conflict, or I'm sorry, high school and AAU conflicting with each other because one may want something and the other wants something else, and one may see a kid better at a school than another school, and it creates a little bit of drama. But for me, it was pretty smooth sailing.
Yeah, yeah. See, that's the beauty of wrestling is you're competing with that other guy. You win or you lose. And
Yeah,
with basketball, you got the starting five, and sometimes the best players don't play, right?
yeah,
Sometimes it could
yeah.
be just a decision or just a coach's decision or discrepancy. Has that ever happened with you, or have you seen
Not
any
with me.
examples of that?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, with AAU basketball, the whole thing is that you got to play for a grassroots program, right? So going into high school, and in high school, you want to play for, these sponsored elite AAU teams that, national showcase and around the biggest schools. So I was fortunate enough to get selected to play for Team Final, which is a Nike team. So, I think kids get lost in the sense of all the gear and all the stuff because you get so much stuff for free, so many pairs of kicks, which is awesome. I mean, it was the best. But at the same time, if I sign up for, if I agree to play for that team and then I'm only playing 2 to 3 minutes, yeah, it's great. I'm on a Nike team, but I'm not getting shown. So I think kids have to be smart and, pick where they're going to be. It's kind of something with wrestling where a kid might want to go to a Bergen Catholic or a South Plainfield, but maybe, if they're wrestling heavyweight and you have a junior who's a two-time place winner, you're probably not going to want to go there thinking that you're going to wrestle right away because he's still got 2 years left. So I think it's more about finding the best fit individually.
Yeah, right. And you said it with private schools and stuff. A lot of, I mean, I came from South Plainfield, public school. We were born and raised together. We were the number one team
Yep.
in the state, and it was crazy because we were all from that town. We all we all grew up there. We were all best friends, and that's what made it so beautiful.
Yeah.
Today, people are, like you said, people are going to those private schools because they think the grass is greener. They see all this
Yeah.
great gear and they see all the success, but realistically, are you going to get that spot? Are you going to get that playing time? So being honest with yourself and finding a perfect fit is super important. I mean, even in college, right? Even choosing
Yeah.
what college you go to.
Yeah, 100%. I think, a lot of times, obviously in high school, your parents have a lot of control over where you go, but they have to also put into perspective. At the end of the day, you're a kid and you're doing this for the love of the game. So, you got to find a situation that you're comfortable in. High school, I had a great situation. Obviously, as a freshman, I was mad I didn't play varsity, but I wasn't ready. Looking back, I was out of shape. I was still young and I had to develop. And then, I had a great sophomore, junior, senior campaign, and then the same in college. It was kind of like a restart again. Freshman year, I got my feet wet, and then I had a great sophomore, junior, and senior campaign.
Uh-huh. When did you start playing basketball?
Probably as young as I could remember, man. My mom was an athletic trainer at a high school, so I just, ever since I was 3, 4 years old, I was, I grew up in a gym. I grew up running around. I played baseball and basketball. I was actually better at baseball, but when you're 6'9", you kind of gotta pick and choose, and I think I picked the right thing.
Yeah, when you're 6, you can't teach height, my man. Can't teach height, 6'9".
Yeah.
And did you start at a certain position and then move on to a different one? Like,
Yes and no. I mean, when you're little, if you're the tallest guy, you're always a center. But my high school coach played me all over. I'd bring the ball up the court. I'd play the 1 through 5. So it kind of molded me into a unique player with a good skill set to help me, later in life.
So where do they have you? What did you play in college and now in professionally?
College, I played
Are
the
you
5,
around?
and now I play the 4, like a
Okay.
power forward.
Awesome. And I ask this to everyone, adversity moment. So what was the time where a moment in your life where you went through adversity and it defined who you were?
My ACL. I tore my ACL my sophomore year, heading into the season, and my surgery was rough. It wasn't healing correctly, and that was a really dark time in my life. For a while, I wasn't even at school. I was just home. I just got up and left campus. I wasn't talking to anybody. My coaches, really, I wasn't speaking to them. I was just in like a dark place, trying to find my way out because I've never experienced something like that. Everything with basketball hasn't necessarily come easy because I work my butt off and everything, but it's paved the way for me in life to a sense. And for, one time in my life, it wasn't, the center of everything. And it was just a weird time, but, obviously I overcame it and everything, but that was definitely, the hardest point in my life for me.
And you said you went home after that happens, and sometimes the power of going home really puts everything in perspective.
Yeah, definitely.
Who was that main coach or just motivator that was there for you during this injury and just get you back to being in shape and getting you through the rehab process and everything?
Yeah. There were a lot of people, bro. Obviously, my cousins. I was home a lot, so I saw them. My best friend Jeff. That's my right hand guy. He was, picking me up every day, driving me to rehab and driving me to the hospital, and came and got my car for me for school. We trained every day in the summer together, so he really helped me and pushed me. And then, my strength coach, Joe Baronello, he's the man. He's actually an Oradell guy, big wrestling guy up there, but he was my strength coach at Delaware. Him and Perlac really helped me. So, it took a few people, but once I was able to get running again and everything, that motivation to be, who I knew I could be never left. It was on hold for a little while.
Yeah, it probably made you find that love of basketball again, huh? Because you were probably first time in your life you couldn't physically have it,
Yeah. Every day, basically, 6 days a week, probably for the past 10 years, I've had a basketball in my hand doing something. So for the first time, I had to teach myself to walk again. We had to teach myself to jog again. And it's crazy that, one day you could be doing everything, and the next day, like, you can't even get off the couch to use the bathroom. So that was just, very frustrating. I'm a person who does everything on my own. Everybody knows, that knows me knows that I don't like help, which kind of hurts me sometimes. I don't like speaking about things. So for me to really have to reach out and, ask my mom to help me get up to go use the bathroom was, put me in a dark point. But obviously I overcame it. It worked out.
What was the process with that injury? How many months did it take? What is there a certain mark that you hit? Is there steps?
Yeah, there's steps, man. So it's 6 to 9 months. I did it in September. I was fully cleared in July, but my coaches didn't want me doing anything really until August, as far as like competing 5-on-5. So right around March, I started running, and that's when things got better because, spring was coming, summer was coming. I was kind of getting back to my normal self. I was able to work out on the court, do individual stuff with my trainers and stuff, and they were monitoring me very closely. But it was just long, man. It was 8, 9, 10 months. During my next season, I was still doing like cautionary stuff just to, keep my knee strong, and, it ended up paying off.
Yeah, you took a medical that year, right?
Yeah, I took a medical.
Cool. And that's why it's super important, especially with our guys at Thrive. They even help us with some prehab stuff. I know I do a whole ton of prehab stuff. So
yeah,
did that whole injury? It just makes everything more super important, right? The prehab and all the band
that
stuff.
I think that injury showed me, how important it is to take care of your body. I was able to work on different things. I think that medical redshirt year really helped me develop as a person. It helped me grow up, and it helped me, realize that I have to get bigger, stronger, faster. For the first time, I was looking at the game of basketball from a different side, trying to learn, just take different things that could help me. So I think that was, really helpful. And, even now I still do things, to keep my knees strong. I still do ankle mobility every day when I'm in with Thrive. I just do little things to keep my core tight and keep my body as strong as possible.
Yeah, that's super important. For basketball players, high school or college guys, how important is the strength and conditioning? I know some guys don't like to lift because it messes up their shot and everything.
Yeah.
What's your opinion on all that?
I think it's a joke. I mean, obviously nobody has to go in there and bench 300 pounds, but as you get older, guys just get stronger and stronger. I went from being one of the strongest guys on the court, and now I play 30-year-old, 35-year-old men. So, you got to continue to gain strength. You got to lift weights. I lift 4 or 5 days a week in the off season, 3 or 4 in season. So I think, it comes down to you. But I mean, I would definitely advise people to lift. I think, you don't have to be in there for 2 hours bench pressing, but you got to hit your squats, your deadlifts. You got to maintain your strength.
Yeah, for sure. So going to a different country, that was a big sacrifice for you. I mean, you like, being from Jersey. Jersey boys, we love Jersey. We love being in Jersey. Everyone from Jersey knows you can take the kid out of Jersey, but you can't take the Jersey out of the kid. So how was that sacrifice just going into another country where I don't even believe they didn't even speak English, right?
Yeah, the younger generation speaks it, pretty easily, but the older people definitely don't. So it was definitely hard at first. I mean, I remember getting on the plane and just being like, holy crap, like this is really happening. Being where we're from, down by the beach and everything, life is just so smooth sailing and comfortable. So it definitely was a challenge for me. But I took it head on and ended up having a great season, and I'm happy I went. I can't wait for next year.
Yes, that shows the passion that you have for the sport and the sacrifices you're willing to take to make it to that next level.
Yeah.
What were kind of the struggles going out there to that country? Or did you stick out like a sore thumb? Just this 6'9" dude.
When you walk into like a cafe or something, they obviously know you're a basketball player, which is cool because you get a little attention. But just being away from my friends, I have a tight knit group, and we're all super close. We're basically together every day. So for the first time, it's not like I could drive over to my buddies or meet somebody for lunch. that was hard, just being away from home, being away from the beach, but when I first landed, I lost my bag. They lost my bag. So that was a whole mess. But I mean, as days went on, it got easier. And once I got into the season and playing, it kind of flew by.
So what got you through it? Was it just the goal that you had? Was there something that you told yourself mentally, like,
Honestly,
during the worst times?
Yeah, bro. Honestly, everybody knows that I love money and I want to make a ton of money in life. I'm fortunate enough to be in a good position with basketball, but I knew if I went into this year and kept my head down and focused and played well, I would really, really, really be set up in the future with basketball wise. So that was my biggest thing. I didn't go out and party. I wasn't drinking. Nothing. I was just focused on playing the best basketball I could. And honestly, I think that I needed it. I needed to get away and prove to myself that I could do this and stuff like that. So I think that it was a great experience for me, and I'm looking forward to it.
And you probably found yourself a lot more. You probably learned more about yourself.
Yeah.
What were some things? What were some of those things that you found out?
Just finding myself. I have so much downtime during the day. I was trying to find things to do and learn different things I liked. I got into a little bit of reading, just studying to take the LSATs and just focus on becoming a better person, making sure that I'm staying in touch with people that matter to me. I spend a lot of time on the phone, even if it's 10, 15 minutes, just calling somebody to make sure they're doing well. It shows that you care about people and they care about you, and it's good to be in touch with them.
Yeah, for sure. And sometimes you need that distance to really learn about yourself and to really care about the people that were close to you now. Now you couldn't see them, so
Exactly.
that probably built some more relationships back at home. Made it 100%. Even stronger.
100%.
Yeah. So what's next for you? What do you got next?
So basically now it's off season. After this quarantine, I'm going on vacation. But nah, really right now it's just working out. Staying busy. My agent just said, relax and stay in the gym. And we talked to some teams from Italy, but obviously with everything going on, that's not the best situation right now. So, we just wait and see. The world's kind of on hold. So I'm just working on my body, staying strong, staying in shape. That's really it. Studying to hopefully take the LSATs this summer, and just kind of waiting for the summer to open up so I could have some fun.
Yeah. Well, what better way to actually get into studying LSAT than now, Now,
yeah, it's good, man. I'm in a routine every day. I'm in a routine. I wake up, I study, I work out, and it's really it. I'm just waiting for the summer to open up. I'm ready for DJs and Bar A and Miami and a little bit of fun.
Hashtag save MDW, right?
Literally, that is the thing, man. When you're from around here, you know that no matter what happens, you go to the beach, you go to the shore for the summer, and hopefully we have Memorial Day weekend, because that is all that I want right now.
The shore needs it, man.
Dude,
the kids need it.
We need it. Yeah. Hopefully they figure this thing out. It's scary, but thank God, majority of people I know are healthy, and hopefully we can fight this and beat this.
Yeah, that's important. And what I tell a lot of people, and especially my wrestlers, is now when you step on that mat, or in your case at court, be grateful that you're on that court. You're depleted it for these months. So
yeah. I mean, it just shows that life comes at you fast, and anything can happen. And be thankful for the things that you have, and the family and people around you, and you get to do something you love. It sucks, looking at especially players in the NCAA and these kids with their senior years that won't get to finish their spring season, didn't get to finish states. Obviously the NCAA March Madness is a huge thing. These kids are basically trying out for their futures, and they don't get to now. It's obviously such a weird timing for everybody. So hopefully, we can overcome it and figure something out.
Yeah, they're part of history, but in a very different way. I like to always ask guys like this, kind of the ending. Who is Eric Carter, and what do you want to be known for?
That's a good question, man. I think Eric Carter is just a laid back guy. I care about people. I want to help people. my life travels, I think 100 miles an hour, but I try to make it, as smooth as possible. And I just want to be known for being a good person, being somebody that my friends and my family can rely on. I have a very close-knit group, as I said, and I trust them with my life. The people around me mean the world to me, and I just hope that they know that.
Awesome. And for any more advice that you can give basketball players, like a college guy that wants to make it to that next level for, professional, or a high school guy trying to get into college, what are some things they could work on physically and mentally?
Yeah, I think, any athlete, or any person, just wants to be better. I think that, you just have to hold yourself accountable. If you're an athlete, from basketball player, you got to be in the gym getting shots up. If you're a wrestler, you got to be on the mat with somebody training. You just have to continue to develop your game or your routine and be good and work when nobody else is working. All those extra hours paid off for me, and I know they pay off for others.
And how important is it to being coachable for basketball? Being able to listen to your coaches and
that's a major thing, man. I mean, I've been on some crazy teams where we've had top guys in the country who, we're supposed to be first round picks, and then they go to college thinking they're the man, and they're not even playing anymore because they weren't able to listen and be who they were. So I think that's the main thing. You got to look at it at the end of the day. There's a reason that they're there trying to help you, and you got to keep your ears open and eyes open, listen, and try to develop and learn.
Yeah, for sure, because you can never stop learning. That's
exactly.
That's the key here. Yeah. So all right, Eric. Any last plugs you want to get in? The floor is yours. Any last words you want to tell anyone?
Save Memorial Day weekend.
So where could everyone find you? Instagram, Twitter.
Yeah. My Instagram's Eric Carter 23. My Twitter is The Life of Carter, and that's all I really use. So.
Yeah. Or ask anyone at UDEL campus. Who Eric Carter is? Don't tell you.
Anybody there or at Bar Anticipation, they probably know me.
Yeah, they know. They know. All right, my man. I appreciate it.
Right,
Thank you very much.
Thanks for having me. I'll talk to you.
Do it. Play Jazz a call.